evening to whoever's still got their ears open out there. Name's Bob Ericson, but most folks used to call me Bob the Butcher. Don't get cute about it, that's just what I do. Or did. Used to slice up prime cuts for the fancy crowd downtown. Wagyu, dry-aged ribeye, the good stuff that used to make people feel like kings. Now the only thing that bleeds around here is the street, and that ain't the kind of meat I ever wanted to see. Shop's quiet now. Funny, I never liked silence before. Always had the radio humming while I worked. A little country, sometimes that weird synth crap the kid next door played. But tonight, silence feels safer than any song. Just the hum of the fridge, when the power stays on anyway, and the soft metal tick of my cleaver on the board. Been sharpening it all night. Habit. Or maybe nerves. They say the purge sirens will go off in less than an hour. 12 hours of legal hell. Everything goes. Everyone's got their reasons, or so they say. I don't buy it. Most just want an excuse to stop pretending. People love the mask more than the truth. You take that mask off, and you see what's been under it the whole damn time. I locked up the shop earlier, but what's a lock worth tonight? Metal door, 2-inch bolts, and a sign that used to mean safety. Ericson's Meats, fresh daily. Someone tagged over it last week with red spray paint, wrote, "Bleed daily." Cute. Real creative. I left it there. No one's coming for pork chops tonight. Across the street, the pharmacy's already boarded up. Saw old man Keller hammering those planks like his life depended on it. Probably does. He asked if I was staying. I told him yeah. He said, "You're crazy, Bob." I told him crazy's a luxury we can't afford. Someone's got to hold the block. He laughed, a dry wheeze, and said, "Then you're the block's butcher and its fool." Maybe he's right. Power just flickered again. Lights dimmed, came back, then dimmed again like they can't decide whether to give up. When they go for good, that's when the city changes. The quiet shifts into something mean. You ever smell fear mixed with rain and motor oil? It's got this metallic edge like rust and sweat. That's what it smells like outside right now. A storm's rolling in. Can't tell if it's thunder or gunfire yet. I got a few people hiding in the back freezer. Don't judge me. They're good people. The lady from the bakery 2 doors down, her kid, and a delivery driver who couldn't get out before curfew. I told them to stay quiet, keep low. I left the freezer door cracked open so they don't suffocate, but it's cold as sin in there. The boy's shivering. Keeps saying he's hungry. I told him to chew on a piece of jerky. He said it's too tough. I said good, that means it'll last. The radio's been spitting out chaos all evening. A couple hours ago some voice announced, confirmed target, Bob Ericson, aka Bob the Butcher, last seen on Halley and 3rd. Don't know who started that, but they got a sick sense of humor. I guess I'm infamous now. People think I'm out here slicing up more than beef. Makes me a trophy for the psychos. So yeah, if anyone's listening to this broadcast, that's the kind of luck I've got tonight. Heard a group call themselves Free Security on another channel, ex-military from the sound of it. They're patrolling some parts of the city trying to protect civilians. Sounds noble, but you can hear the fatigue in their voices. They talk like they've seen too much and expect worse. If I run into them, maybe they'll help, or maybe they'll see me as a threat. Hard to tell with men who've been taught to shoot first. I still got my cleavers lined up on the counter. My hands know the weight of each one. The small one for poultry, the long one for beef ribs, the heavy one for bone. Funny how familiar that weight feels, like shaking hands with old friends. I don't want to use them tonight, but my gut says I will. Someone's moving outside. Steps, slow, deliberate. Not running, not panicked. That's worse. I peeked through the glass a minute ago and saw 3 figures with masks. One's got a baseball bat wrapped in something shiny. Barbed wire, maybe. They stopped under the flickering streetlight, funny, looking right at the shop sign. I ducked down. My heart's pounding so loud I swear they could hear it through the door. They started laughing. Not the kind of laugh that comes from joy, but from excitement. The kind that says they already decided what you're worth. I'm keeping the radio open, so if I go quiet too long, maybe someone picks up the last thing I said. Maybe Free Security. Maybe nobody. Doesn't matter. At least it won't vanish into the dark. You start noticing small things when fear's the only company left. The hum of the cooler, the crack in the ceiling you never patched, the smell of bleach from when you cleaned the drains. I keep catching myself staring at the reflection in the meat case glass. My face looks older. meaner. Guess that's what happens when you realize the line between butcher and survivor's a thin one. The lady in the back asked if the power will hold. I told her yes. Lie, but she needed it. Kid asked if the sirens will really make everything stop at dawn. I told him yes too. Maybe that's true. Maybe the world just hits pause for 12 hours of madness and then pretends it didn't happen. But I've seen how stains set in. You can scrub all you want, some blood just stays. Sirens now. Long, ugly wails stretching over the rooftops. Sounds like the city itself is screaming. There it is, the start. The purge has begun. You can almost feel it, like the air itself goes sharp. I heard a car crash down the block. Glass shattered. Screaming followed. Someone yelling for help. Someone else yelling for silence. A gun went off. Another one. Then laughter. The kind that crawls under your skin. I've been through slaughterhouse nights before. You learn the rhythm of panic. First hour, everyone's loud, desperate. Third hour, the smart ones are hiding. By dawn, it's just the predators left. I don't know which kind I am yet. Radio's picking up bits of chatter. Free security's on 12th, they said. That's 4 blocks away. They're trying to evacuate a church. God help them. They'll need it. I thought about running, but the streets outside look like a game board, and I don't feel like being anyone's pawn. The masked trio outside moved on, thank God. I can still hear their laughter echoing. One of them yelled, "We'll be back for you, Butcher." So yeah, guess the rumors spread. Someone out there wants a trophy. It's getting hotter even though the air's cold. Adrenaline, maybe. I'm sweating through my apron. Feels weird keeping it on, but it's like armor to me. Smells like smoke and salt. My hands won't stop shaking. I keep telling myself it's just the caffeine. It's not. To anyone listening, if you're near Halley and 3rd, stay away. This block's cursed tonight. There's movement on the rooftops. I saw flashes earlier, maybe scopes. Don't get caught in the open. I'm gonna keep talking. It helps, makes the silence less heavy. Reminds me I'm still breathing. The boy's crying softly now. The baker's whispering to him, trying to keep him calm. She's brave, that woman. Lost her husband last year. Didn't cry once then, but tonight I saw her eyes shine like she's breaking for the first time. Can't blame her. Another explosion, farther downtown. The glow reflects on the window. It's orange, like the world's on fire. Maybe it is. If this night ends and someone hears this recording later, remember this. None of us were ready. Not the cops, not the saints, not the killers. We all thought we'd be the one who makes it through. But when the sirens sing and the lights die, you learn fast. Everybody bleeds the same. I'll keep the mic open as long as I can. The shop smells like smoke now. I think the fire's spreading closer. My hands are steady again, which scares me more than the shaking did. Means I've accepted it, means I'm ready to cut if I have to. Name's Bob Ericson, Bob the Butcher, signing, no, not signing off. Still here, still breathing, still sharpening. This is Bob Ericson. Yeah, the Butcher one. Guess my name's bouncing around the airwaves again, lucky me. Whoever started that rumor made me a damn magnet. People out there think I'm slicing up half the city for sport. Funny thing is, I'm the one trying to keep what's left of it breathing. I can hear my name in other frequencies. Mocking, shouting, laughing. Feels like the city itself is chanting it now. The power's gone for good this time. Whole blocks dipped into this thick, humming dark. Every building hums with a heartbeat that isn't electric. It's human. Scared, angry, starving for violence. You can feel it pressing on the glass, just waiting to get in. About an hour after the sirens, the trio from earlier came back. Different crowd with them now, maybe 7, maybe 10. Hard to tell through the smoke from the burning pharmacy. The air's hot, thick with melted plastic and ash. They dragged something metal behind them, maybe a cart, maybe a cage. I heard it screech along the street. That sound, it's gonna stick in my skull. The baker and the kid are still in the freezer. The driver didn't make it. He panicked. Bolted out the back door when he heard the mob. I yelled at him to stay put, but he didn't listen. He ran into the alley. There was a noise, a short scream, then nothing. The silence after was worse than the scream. I didn't go check. You move when you hear quiet like that, you end up next. I dragged a shelf across the front door, nailed it down with what I could find. My hands wouldn't stop sweating. They kept slipping on the hammer. The smell in here's changing. Smoke's mixing with old blood from the drains. It's like breathing rust through a wet rag. I've got the radio volume low, just enough to catch fragments. The free security guys came through the main channel again, calm voices under pressure. Sounded like a patrol leader calling for medics at a school. You can tell from the tone they're losing people fast. Then someone said my name. Bob Ericson secured on Halley and 3rd like I was part of their plan. They said it twice, clear, no hesitation. So now every psycho with a radio knows exactly where to find me. The mob outside started chanting not long after that. Butcher! 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 Rhythmic, stupid, loud. They pounded on the door. Each hit made the hinges groan like bones. The kid in the freezer whimpered, and I told him to hush, that it'd be fine. Lie number 2 for the night. Maybe 3. I've lost count. I picked up the cleaver. Not because I wanted to use it, but because my hands felt empty without it. The weight steadies me, gives me something real to focus on. I remember the first time I cut into a side of beef, how the knife met the muscle, how the air changed when the tension broke. Same thing now, except it's the walls vibrating with people trying to get in instead of meat hanging from hooks. Then came the voice, woman, sharp tone, confident. She yelled, "We don't want your food. We want the butcher." Made me flinch. I could picture her smile when she said it, the way some people smile right before they do something monstrous. I didn't answer. I didn't move. I just listened. They started hitting harder. One of them broke a window, threw in a Molotov. Flames caught on a rack of napkins and wrappers. I managed to stomp it out, burned my hand doing it. Smells like charred skin now. Still, better that than the whole place going up. The chanting stopped after the fire went out. Then, from down the street, headlights cut through the smoke. A big truck rolled up, matte black, loud engine, floodlight mounted on the roof. Free security. The mob scattered fast, tripping over each other. The vets jumped out, rifles raised. No hesitation, no words. Gunfire cut through the dark, clean and surgical. I ducked behind the counter. It was over in seconds. The leader came to my door, knocked once, hard. Deep voice, didn't bother to shout. "You Bob Ericson?" he said. I said yeah. He told me they'd heard the broadcast that they were securing the street and helping survivors. Asked if anyone else was with me. I said 2 civilians, no weapons, no trouble. He nodded, looked me up and down, saw the cleaver in my hand. "Keep that close," he said. Then he told me to stay put while they cleared the next block. When he walked away, I heard him radio back, "Butcher secured, area stable." My name again. My cursed name echoing across the city like a flare in the dark. After they left, the quiet came back. Except it wasn't quiet. You start hearing things in the dark, breathing that isn't yours, whispers that crawl along the edges of your skull. I kept talking into this mic to drown it out. Maybe someone's listening. Maybe it's just me losing my grip. The kid woke up crying again. Said he heard someone scratching at the freezer door. I told him it's just the metal cooling. He said it sounded like words. I told him to go back to sleep. He said the scratching stopped when he prayed. I didn't say anything after that. I went to the front and looked out. The street's worse now, burned cars, shattered glass everywhere. One of the bodies out there moved when the wind shifted. Just the clothes catching air, I think, but it made my stomach drop. There's this smell that never leaves you once you've smelled it. The smell of something that used to be alive but isn't anymore. It's in the air now, heavy as fog. A noise came from upstairs in the storage room. I froze. Thought maybe one of the vets came back. Called out, no answer. Just the creak of floorboards. I grabbed the heavy cleaver, the one that can split bone with a single swing. Climbed up slow, each step groaning like it wanted to betray me. The door to the storage room was half open. Inside, shadows stretched long from the firelight outside. There was someone up there. Small, hunched, rummaging through boxes. I said, "Stop." They turned, and for a second I saw their face in the dim light, half covered in soot, eyes wild. Could have been 15, maybe 16, holding a knife too big for their hand. They lunged. Reflex took over. The cleaver came down before my brain caught up. I didn't say anything for a long time after that. I just stood there, listening to my own breath. The body was still. I couldn't even look at it. Just backed down the stairs, wiped the blade clean on my apron. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Not from fear. Something else. Something emptier. Back on the radio, free security checked in again. "Butcher, if you copy, hold position. Reinforcements delayed." Reinforcements. That's a funny word for people who might not make it back. I told them I'd stay put. Didn't tell them what happened upstairs. Some things don't belong on a broadcast. It's quieter now, but not peaceful. The fire's dying outside, but the smoke's thick enough to hide anything moving through it. The light flickers orange across the window, makes the street look alive. The baker's humming softly in the back, something slow and cracked. The kind of song that sounds like hope trying to pretend it's not broken. The kid's asleep again, clutching an old bread knife like it'll save him. I don't blame him. I keep listening for the trucks, for the voices, for anything that sounds like order. But all I hear is static, broken words, and sometimes my own name bouncing back at me distorted and wrong. The freezer compressor kicked on again. It's louder than I remember. Sounds almost like whispering under the hum. Maybe I'm just hearing things. Maybe the city's talking to itself now. I don't know how many hours we've got left till sunrise. It feels like the night's stretching longer just to see how much it can take from us. If you're out there, if you can hear this, stay off Hallie. They're hunting anyone who looks like they're worth the kill. They already marked me, and they'll keep coming. The broadcast made sure of that. I'm still here, still standing in the dark, apron soaked, blade in hand, waiting for whatever comes next. The world's gone mad, and somehow I'm the one they keep calling a monster. Maybe that's fitting. Maybe that's what it takes to live through this. This is Bob Ericson speaking again. If anyone's still scanning the air tonight, the clock says somewhere past 2, maybe 3. Can't tell anymore. My watch stopped when the fire hit earlier, and the only light now is from the burning bakery next door. I keep thinking it's the sunrise, but the smell tells me otherwise. Sweet dough, sugar, and ash. The freezer's full of people now, not meat. 3 new ones came in with the vets before they rolled out again. Said the church on 12th got overrun, needed a place to put the wounded. I didn't want them here, not because I don't care, but because space is thin, and every person you save becomes another reason for someone to come knocking. But I opened the door anyway. What else can you do when someone's bleeding on your doorstep? They carried in a guy missing half his arm. Not clean. Looked like something ripped it off. He was still conscious, biting down on his shirt, eyes rolling white. I used to see fear like that in livestock before the blade dropped. That kind of raw panic that hits the body before the mind can catch up. I did what I could. Wrapped it, held pressure, but he's fading fast. His breath's shallow, like his body's arguing with itself about whether to keep trying. The woman from the bakery's still here. She hasn't said much since we lost the delivery driver. She helps me hold the wounded down when they start shaking. Her hands are steady, even when the blood soaks through her sleeves. There's a strength in her I can't name, like she's made of something unbreakable. The kid stays close to her, quiet now. Doesn't even flinch at the gunfire anymore. You get used to noise quick in this world. I've been rationing water from the busted cooler line. It tastes like copper and bleach, but it's all we've got. I keep hearing the vets on the radio, scattered reports about losing ground downtown, whole streets going dark, comms cutting mid-sentence. One voice said something about the Butcher District holding. I laughed when I heard that. Didn't mean to. Just sounded ridiculous. Holding? The only thing holding me together right now is habit. They keep calling me Butcher, like it's a title. Maybe it is. Maybe it's all I've got left. I'm using what I know, how to cut, how to stay calm when there's blood everywhere. That skill keeps people alive now. Didn't think that'd ever make me a hero, but here we are. The man missing his arm stopped breathing about half an hour ago. I couldn't save him. I said a few words, nothing holy, just human. We dragged him to the back and wrapped him in butcher paper. Strange how fitting that feels. Feels wrong too, but there's no other way. Can't leave him out, can't bury him, so the freezer becomes his grave. Cold keeps him still. The air's thick tonight. The fire smoke's leaking through the vents, making the walls sweat. Every few minutes I hear footsteps outside, sometimes laughter, sometimes crying. The city's eating itself alive. I can almost hear it chewing through the bones. One of the new survivors, older guy, face gray as dust, keeps muttering about the lights on the bridge. Says he saw people hanging from lampposts on his way here, strung up like warnings. I told him to shut it. Not because I don't believe him, but because I can't handle another image crowding my head. I'm already full of them. I keep talking into this mic to stay sane. If I stop, I start hearing the other sounds again. There's something outside that's been circling the shop for an hour. Not the mob. Something slower, deliberate. I hear claws against the asphalt. Could be metal, could be imagination. Doesn't matter. The point's the same. The dark doesn't stay empty for long. The woman asked if I had always been this calm around blood. I told her I don't see blood anymore, just messes that need cleaning. She looked at me like that scared her more than the people outside. Maybe it should. I'm not sure when I stopped reacting to it. Maybe when the first body hit the floor tonight, or maybe years ago when the job just became another day. I found some antibiotics in a first aid kit one of the vets left behind. I've been using them sparingly. There's a boy in the group with a deep cut along his thigh. Looks bad. I cleaned it, stitched it the best I could with fishing line and a steady hand. He screamed once, then bit down hard and went quiet. After, he just stared at me, eyes glassy like he was trying to memorize my face. I told him not to. I'm not the kind of face worth remembering. Outside's gone quiet again. No gunfire, no screams, no engines. That's worse than the noise. Silence means someone's waiting. You can feel it in your bones. The street's holding its breath. I shut off the shop lights, what's left of them, and told everyone to stay still. The hum of the freezer's the only sound now. There's something I need to say in case anyone finds this recording later. Mercy's not clean. It never was. It's messy, like meat, full of gristle and fat and compromise. You want to save people, you get your hands dirty. Sometimes saving one means letting another go. I've had to make choices tonight that'll haunt me longer than the blood smell. The old guy in the corner is whispering prayers now. I don't know what God he's calling for, but if it's listening, I hope it's in a forgiving mood. I told him to keep it down. That noise draws attention. He just smiled, said, "If I'm going to die, I'll die talking to someone better than this city." Hard to argue with that. I've been thinking about the first time I butchered an animal. I was 14, my dad standing behind me, teaching me how to find the joint between the bones. Said, "Cut where it wants to give." I didn't understand what he meant then. I do now. Everything breaks easier if you know where to press. The static on the radio keeps coming and going. Sometimes I think I hear voices through it, soft, slow, whispering my name. Maybe it's the mob still broadcasting. Maybe it's something else. Doesn't matter. I keep replying anyway. Makes me feel less like the last man left breathing. One of the windows cracked just now. Not broken, just a hairline split crawling across the glass. Could be the heat. Could be someone leaning on it. I can hear boots outside again. Low voices. 2, maybe 3. They're not shouting, not laughing, just talking, calm. That scares me more than the chaos. People who enjoy this kind of night don't yell. They plan. The baker's got the kid under the counter, covering his mouth. I can see her eyes watching the door, wide, shining in the half-light. I told her to keep still. She nodded once. The handle's moving. Slow, deliberate. Someone's testing it. I'm gripping the cleaver again. My hands don't shake anymore. The wood under my feet creaks with every step I take toward the door. The voices outside stop. Then one of them speaks, soft, male. "Bob the Butcher," he says, almost like he's greeting an old friend. "We just want to talk." I don't answer. My heart's hammering, but my face stays cold. The guy outside chuckles. "You got fans, Bob. We've been listening. You talk too much." I can see a shadow through the frosted glass. He leans closer, presses something against it. Looks like a knife blade, scraping slow. The sound drills straight into my skull. I step closer, just out of sight, voice low. "If you're smart, you'll walk away." He laughs again, going deep and ugly. "We like the sound of your voice. Thought we'd hear it up close." Then a bang. Loud, sharp. The door jerks but doesn't open. I hear shouting, then another sound. Gunfire from down the street. Free security's back, sweeping the area again. The men outside scatter fast, their boots thudding against the pavement. The woman lets out a breath she's been holding for minutes. I tell her it's not over. The city doesn't quit, it just reloads. The radio's alive again, voice of a soldier I recognize from earlier. "Civilians on Halley, hold your positions. We've cleared 3 blocks east, reinforcements inbound." I tell him I've got wounded and bodies. He says they'll stop by, but it might take hours. I don't even know if hours mean anything anymore. The clock's useless. The only measure left is how many times you have to pick the cleaver back up. I'm tired. My hands ache. The smell of blood and smoke is burned into everything. My clothes, my hair, my lungs. But I can't rest. Not yet. To whoever's still alive out there, if you're listening, mercy's all we've got left. It's not soft, it's not kind, it's survival wrapped in something that looks like grace. I'm not proud of what I've done tonight, but pride doesn't feed the living. I can hear the trucks coming closer now. Maybe the vets will make it before dawn. Maybe they won't. Either way, I'll keep the mic hot and the blade ready. This is Bob the Butcher. Still here, still breathing, still cutting where it wants to give. This is Bob Ericson, still breathing, still behind the counter that used to be for ribeye and brisket, not bandages and fear. The night's longer than it should be. I swear, the clock's lying. Every minute stretches like it's trying to kill time itself. The fire outside burned down to embers, but the city's got a new kind of glow. Gunfire and neon from the maniacs throwing their own little apocalypse parties. You'd think after hours of screams, your ears would tune it out. They don't. You just start hearing the rhythm in it. Beats between chaos. Down the block, some gangs blasting music from a hijacked truck, bass thumping under the echo of explosions. Sounds like laughter wrapped in madness. The free security guys said they'd be back. That was 2 hours ago. Guess they're busy trying to hold together what's left of the map. The bodies I wrapped in paper earlier are stacked in the back now. It's cold enough to keep them from rotting, but it doesn't stop the smell. Iron and regret. I keep thinking about how each of them had a voice earlier tonight, and now it's just silence and flies. The boy with the stitched legs still breathing, though. Barely. The woman's feeding him small sips of melted ice. I told her not to waste it, but she gave me that look, like I'd have to fight her for it, so I let her. An hour ago, I heard the first fireworks. Yeah, fireworks. Some psychos decided to celebrate. Red bursts over a burning skyline. It looked almost beautiful if you didn't know the reason. The mob's treating this like New Year's Eve. I can hear them cheering between gunshots. One yelled freedom so loud it rattled my windows. Freedom's a funny word for what this is. I keep scanning the radio channels, hoping to catch the vets again. Half the signals are garbage, people begging, others mocking, some just laughing into the mic. One voice kept repeating, "The butcher's gone soft." Said it over and over, like a song. Makes me wonder if that's what the world thinks now. That helping people means weakness. I used to cut flesh to feed people. Now I'm cutting to keep them alive. Funny how that line blurs. Then there was the voice. A calm one this time. Claimed he was with free security. Said they were regrouping near the river and needed safe houses marked. Gave coordinates. My coordinates. I didn't say anything, just listened. Then he said my name, clear and steady. Bob Ericson, you're doing good work. We're sending a unit your way. Hold tight. His tone was too smooth. I've heard soldiers before. They don't talk like salesmen. I killed the light, waited. Didn't take long, maybe 10 minutes, before a truck rolled up outside. Same type the real vets use. Same markings, but the sound was off. The real ones keep engines low, controlled. This one revved loud, like they wanted the whole neighborhood to know they'd arrived. I saw movement through the window. Masks again, not helmets. I stayed low. They banged on the door, yelling free security over and over. But their boots didn't sound right. Too many, too erratic. I knew the real crew ran small squads. This was a mob wearing borrowed skins. I didn't answer. One of them said, "Bob, we're here to escort you." Same fake calm from the radio. That voice again. I felt something in my gut twist. They started shooting when I didn't answer. Rounds cracked through the front windows, glass spraying across the counter. The baker screamed. I told everyone to get down. The kid was crying. The sound tore through me worse than the bullets. I crawled toward the freezer, grabbed the first cleaver I could find. Muscle memory, pure instinct. I didn't plan to fight. I just needed something that made me feel less helpless. They kept firing until the ammo ran out, then silence. That kind of silence where you can feel them smiling on the other side of the wall. I heard one of them whisper, He's in there. He'll come out eventually. Then footsteps retreating. I waited. 5 minutes. 10. Thought maybe they left, then came the gas. Thick smoke started pouring through the bullet holes. Chemical, sour, burned my eyes. I grabbed a wet rag, pressed it to my face, helped the others do the same. The woman coughed hard. The old man in the corner fainted. I dragged him behind the counter, lungs screaming. Then headlights again, this time from the real free security. You can tell the difference when men move like they know death already. Controlled bursts, command shouts. The fake patrol didn't stand a chance. The fight lasted seconds. Just sharp cracks, then quiet. The leader from earlier stormed in, mask off, face streaked with grime. He saw the smoke, saw us gasping, didn't even flinch. They used our damn call signs, he said, voice low, dangerous. We'll fix that. He checked on the survivors, nodded once at me. No thank you. Just that look soldiers give when they recognize someone who's too stubborn to die. They helped move the wounded out. The old man didn't wake. They didn't take him, didn't even ask his name. Just said they'd be back for the rest. The leader turned before leaving. You keep doing what you're doing, Butcher, better, but be careful who you trust on the air. Then he was gone. After that, the city fell into this weird rhythm again. Fireworks, screaming, laughter. I swear I heard a violin somewhere. Someone's out there playing music while the world burns. I don't know if that's madness or courage. Maybe both. The radio's mostly static now, but sometimes I catch voices underneath, deep in the hum. They're not talking to me, not directly, but I can feel when they say my name. They make it sound like a challenge. The butcher's still breathing, one said. Let's fix that. I shut it off for a while, but the silence felt worse. The woman's asleep now, holding the boy like he's her own. The floor's sticky with dried blood and melted ice. I stopped trying to clean it. What's the point? You can't scrub away this kind of night. I went to the back to check the freezer. The wrapped bodies look peaceful in the cold light. That's a lie, I know, but I need to tell myself that. I stood there a long time, staring. I caught my reflection in the metal door, eyes hollow, jaw tight, apron stiff with stains that'll never wash out. I looked like something that belonged in the freezer, not outside it. The sound of laughter drifted in again. Not close, just faint but constant. Then more fireworks, green this time, popping over the rooftops. I can hear the criminals celebrating somewhere nearby, their voices echoing off the walls. They call it Freedom Fest. They chant slogans like they're proud of the ruin. It's almost funny the way people can turn horror into a party. Almost. The smell of gasoline's getting stronger. Someone's spreading fire again. I can feel the heat through the cracked glass. Shadows dancing on the walls like ghosts trying to climb out. I keep talking to this mic because it's all I can do to keep my head straight. The air's thick with smoke and memory. Every sound's louder than it should be. Each creak, each whisper, like the city's speaking through its wounds. If anyone out there is hearing this, listen close. Don't believe the voices on the radio. They'll mimic anything. Authority, family, mercy. You'll think it's help. It's bait. I almost opened the door tonight. Almost. That almost is the difference between alive and gone. The boy woke up a few minutes ago, said he dreamed of lights moving through the fog, calling his name. Said they promised safety. I told him to stay away from lights like that. The city's full of promises that eat you alive. He nodded, but I could see it in his eyes. He wanted to believe the lie. We all do. The woman asked how long until dawn. I told her soon. I don't believe it. The night's got teeth. It doesn't let go easy. The radio just clicked again. That same smooth voice came back, calm as ever. Butcher, it said. We're still coming. Then static. Just static. I think the fireworks are closer now. Or maybe those aren't fireworks anymore. This is Bob Ericson, still here, still cutting through the noise. The city needs a meat grinder tonight, and we're all just trying not to be next in line. It's still me, Bob Ericson. I think it's just past 4 now, though time feels like it's choking itself to death. The clock fell off the wall during the last hit, and the second hand's twitching in place like it's too scared to move forward. Maybe it's smarter than me. The smoke outside's thick enough to chew. The whole block's on fire. Can't tell if it's from the gas line or another mob playing with matches. I blocked the vents with wet towels, but the air still tastes like burnt meat and old grease. The smell brings back memories of the smoker I used to run behind the shop. Now it just smells like everything good turned wrong. The boy's fever's climbing. His stitches held, but the infection's moving faster than I can fight. The woman's been whispering to him, soft, steady, like she's holding the world together with her voice. I found a few more antibiotics in the vet's kit, but they're half dissolved. I crushed them anyway, mixed with water, made him swallow. He didn't even flinch. That kind of quiet scares me more than screaming. The free security boys haven't been back. Guess the war out there's chewing them up too. I can hear the fighting though. Closer now. Automatic bursts, short and precise, followed by that awful silence when you know somebody just stopped existing. There's something new tonight. The mob's gotten organized. Used to be chaos, random hits, fires, screams. Now it's pattern. They're sweeping streets, block by block, calling out names like they're reading a list. My name was one of them. I heard it over the loudspeaker about an hour ago. The butcher of Halley Street, like I'm some ghost story parents used to scare their kids. Except tonight, I'm real. I packed a few knives, wrapped them in rags to keep from clinking. Habit, I guess. The cleaver's been my anchor, but it's heavy, loud. I need speed now, not power. Funny how the same tool that once brought life to a kitchen now just brings death to the doorstep. The woman asked me if I ever killed anyone before tonight. I told her the truth. Just animals. She nodded like she understood, but I could see it in her eyes. She knows it's not that different anymore. Life's life. Once you stop seeing the face, the rest comes easy. The city sounds wrong tonight. The sirens died hours ago. Now it's just wind and distant laughter. Every few minutes, a scream cuts through, high and sharp, then fades like the city's swallowing it. I tried to block the windows with shelving, but the flames outside keep flickering through the cracks, painting everything red. Makes it hard to tell what's blood and what's reflection. I keep thinking about the men who tried to trick me earlier. The fake soldiers. The way they used calm voices, uniforms stolen from real protectors. I wonder how many people opened their doors to that lie. Probably plenty. It's easier to believe a clean voice than a dirty truth. Something hit the roof about 20 minutes ago. Heavy. Rolled once, then stopped. I thought maybe it was debris, but then it started moving. Slow. Scraping along the shingles like it's crawling. The sound's too deliberate for debris. I grabbed the shotgun the vets left behind, but there's only one shell. One. You save that for a moment, that matters. I can't waste it on shadows. I've been keeping the radio volume low, just enough to catch whispers. Heard a broadcast from uptown, someone claiming they found safe zones in the subways. Said there's food, generators, guards. I want to believe it, but Hope's got a nasty habit of dressing up as a trap. The old man we lost earlier, the one I couldn't save, I keep seeing his face when I close my eyes. Eyes open, mouth half smiling like he knew something I didn't. I covered him again tonight. Double layer. Not sure why. Maybe out of guilt, maybe respect. Doesn't matter. He's quieter than the living, and that's a gift right now. The scraping above stopped a few minutes ago, replaced by soft thuds. Then a new sound. Knocking. Gentle, polite, like someone at the door of a dinner party. I didn't move. Just listened. Then came the voice. A woman's. Calm. Too calm. "Bob," she said. "It's safe now. You can come out." I froze. The woman here looked at me, eyes wide. "That's not me," she whispered. The voice outside repeated it. Louder. "Bob, it's safe now." I don't scare easy, but that did it. The way it sounded, it was her voice exactly, every syllable right, even the way she breathes between words. I crawled to the back, checked the roof ladder. Nothing. Just the sound of metal flexing under weight. Then, silence. For a second, I thought maybe I'd imagined it. But the boy started crying again, saying he saw someone through the window. I looked. Something was standing across the street. Tall, still, masked maybe, or burned. Couldn't tell. Just watching. The flames behind it made its outline shimmer. I blinked, and it was gone. I told everyone to move to the back room. We barricaded the door with whatever we had, crates, the meat grinder, even the register. The woman's shaking, but she's quiet. The kid's breathing shallow, sweat dripping down his neck. I can hear my own pulse louder than the noise outside. The radio flickered again, static breaking into half words. South Bridge, collapse, free security, hold. That's all I caught. Whatever's left of the city's folding in on itself. I started thinking, if the bridge is gone, that means we're boxed in. No escape. The mobs will sweep through soon enough and will just be another headline no one reads. I looked at the cleaver again. It's strange how a blade can feel like both a savior and a curse. You start depending on it too much. It becomes part of you. I used to clean mine after every cut. Now, I don't bother. There's no point pretending things will ever be clean again. The wind outside picked up. I can hear signs creaking, glass breaking, somewhere down the block. The city's got this low groan, like it's dying slow. The kind of sound you feel in your bones. The boy started mumbling again. Fever dreams. He said there were people outside calling his name, whispering through the cracks. Said they sounded nice. I told him not to listen, that voices like that aren't people anymore. They're echoes, leftovers of the ones who didn't make it. The woman's humming quietly now, a song I don't recognize. It's beautiful in a way that makes my stomach hurt, like hearing something pure in a place that's forgotten what that means. The radio just lit up again. This time the voice was clear. Bob Ericson, it said. Male, steady, calm as a surgeon. You're surrounded. Surrender. And no one else gets hurt. I looked around. The others stared at me, waiting. I didn't say a word, just switched the radio off. They're bluffing. Maybe, or maybe they're already outside. I can't risk finding out. There's smoke coming through the floorboards now. Not from the fire outside. This is different. It's thicker. Chemical. Gas again. They're trying to flush us. I told everyone to cover their mouths, crawl low. The woman started coughing, eyes watering. The kids limp in her arms. I dragged them toward the back exit, the one leading to the alley. It's half collapsed, blocked by trash bins and rubble, but I managed to force it open just enough. The cold air hit like a slap. The alley was empty. For once, empty felt like mercy. We crawled out, one by one. I stayed last, watching the shop. Flames licking the walls, smoke pouring through the holes. My home, my livelihood, my last bit of peace, gone. I watched it burn until the roof caved in. The sound was like thunder, like the city laughing at me. We made it down 2 blocks before we heard the truck engines again. The same loud revs, the same fake calm over loudspeakers. I told the woman to run ahead with the boy, cut through the side streets toward the river. I stayed back. Someone had to slow them down. I found a broken pipe, rusted but solid. The first one came around the corner grinning like it was a joke. He didn't laugh long. The rest started shooting wild, but the smoke and fire made it hard to see. I moved fast like I used to when carving ribs, clean, efficient, no hesitation. Now I'm sitting in another back alley talking into this damn mic again. The woman and the boy are gone ahead. I hope they make it. I hope someone's listening. The city's quieter now, but it's not peace. It's the kind of quiet that happens when everything living's either dead or hiding. I can smell the fire spreading. The air's hot enough to blister skin. If anyone hears this, don't come near Halley Street. There's nothing left here but smoke and sin. This is Bob Ericson, the butcher. Still breathing, still cutting where I have to. This is Bob Ericson. Don't know how much longer this frequency will hold, but I've got to keep talking or my head'll start chewing on itself. I'm somewhere near the old train yard now, north side. The smoke followed me, thick as fog, and the air's got that same burnt sweetness again, like caramelized death. I can still see the glow from Halley Street behind me. Used to be home. Now it's a funeral pyre. I left the woman and the boy by the drainage tunnels. Told them I'd circle back once I knew the road was clear. Truth is, I don't know if I'll ever see them again. The kid could barely walk, but the woman, she's stubborn. Tougher than most soldiers I've met. If anyone can keep that boy alive, it's her. Still, it felt wrong leaving them. Felt like walking away from what's left of my own humanity. But staying would have been suicide. The train yard's dead quiet. Rows of rusted cars and half-eaten shipping containers, all cast in the red glow of fire. I can hear metal expanding from the heat, popping like gunfire. Every sound makes me flinch now. My nerves are stretched thin enough to snap with one wrong breath. There's graffiti everywhere. Hunt or be hunted. God's off shift. Stuff like that. People write the truth when they think no one's gonna live to read it. I found a shack by the old loading platform. Locked from the inside, which means someone's been here recently. I didn't knock, just pushed through. The smell hit me first. Rot, old blood, mold. The floor was covered in black plastic and something that used to be people. Not whole, not recognizable. It was a slaughterhouse, and for the first time in my life, I wasn't the one holding the knife. There were words on the wall written in grease. Clean the city. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound like anything good. Maybe a motto for the psychos running the show tonight. Maybe a warning. I keep seeing that phrase everywhere lately, sprayed on walls, printed on flyers stuck to burnt cars. Some cult of purity, they say. Cleansing the weak. Yeah, real noble. I found a can of fuel and a box of flares in the shack. Might come in handy later. There's a lot of darkness left, and fire's the only thing that still scares monsters, human or not. Heard voices earlier, men laughing, metallic clangs, chains dragging. I crouched behind an old freight car, tried to listen. Couldn't see much, but I caught glimpses. Figures in makeshift armor, faces painted black and white, eyes wild. They were rounding up survivors, forcing them to kneel. I counted 5 victims, all shaking. One of the masked men pulled out a cleaver. My kind of tool, only bigger. He said something I couldn't make out, then swung. The sound was dull and wet. The others cheered. That was enough. I waited until they dragged the bodies toward the center of the yard, then slipped into the shadows. My boots kept sticking in something thick on the ground. I didn't look down. I've seen enough to know what it was. I'm hiding in a half-broken caboose now. Radio propped against my knee. The steel walls moan every time the wind hits. I can hear them out there, still chanting. They're calling it the Midnight Harvest. Guess that's what they're doing. Harvesting the city. Taking what's left of the living before sunrise wipes the fun away. I keep thinking about knives, the weight, the balance, the difference between one made for meat and one made for killing. I used to believe there was a line between the two. Now I know better. It's not the tool that changes, it's the hand holding it. There's blood on my palms again. Some fresh, some dried. I stopped trying to wash it off hours ago. You can't wash off what the world's become. Something just moved outside, slow, scraping steps along the gravel. I peeked through the slit in the door. Nothing. Then a whisper. Not words, just the sound of someone exhaling my name. Bob. I froze. Every muscle locked up. The whisper came again, closer this time, dragging through the air like smoke. Bob. I gripped the cleaver tight. The door handle started to rattle, slow and deliberate. I waited, breath held, ready to strike. Then the rattling stopped. Silence. I thought maybe it was my head playing tricks on me. Then something hit the side of the train, hard. Once, twice. The whole thing shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. I didn't wait to find out what it was. Slipped out the back, ran low between cars. My boots echoed too loud, each step a shout. I could feel eyes on me, tracking. I ducked behind a pile of crates. Heart beat so loud I swore it'd give me away. The chanting had stopped. That's worse than noise. It means they noticed the missing one. I pulled my radio back on. Caught static, then a voice. Female this time. Crisp, official. All units, regroup at Sector 7. Targets confirmed near the yard. That word, targets, hit hard. They weren't just hunting at random anymore. They had a list. I ran. Didn't matter where. Just needed distance. The firelight faded behind me, replaced by shadows thick enough to drown in. The ground changed under my feet. Damp. Soft. I realized too late I'd stepped into one of the old drainage channels. Knee-deep muck, cold enough to bite. I pushed forward anyway. Then I saw them, hanging from the overpass. Rows of people strung up by their wrists, heads slumped forward. Every few seconds, the wind made them sway. I counted at least 20 before I stopped. Couldn't look anymore. One of them moved. I swear it, a faint twitch in the leg. I thought maybe I was imagining it until I heard a wet gasp. I waited closer. The person's face was covered in something black and sticky, but their eyes were open, wide, pleading. I reached up, tried to cut the rope, but it was wire. It sliced my hand. The person tried to speak, but all that came out was a gurgle, then nothing. The wind took them, swinging back into the row. That's when I noticed the mark burned into the concrete under them. Same words from the shack. Clean the city. Over and over, like a sermon written in madness. The radio crackled again. Another voice, maybe the same calm one from before. Bob Ericson, it said. You've been busy. We like that. Keep cutting. I dropped the radio, stomped it once before realizing I needed it, picked it back up. The voice was gone, replaced by static and faint laughter. I kept moving. The city feels alive now, breathing heavy through the cracks in its own body. The smoke's thicker, the heat unbearable. Somewhere in the distance, I can still hear fireworks, or maybe explosions. Hard to tell anymore. I found another shelter beneath the tracks. Old maintenance room, half collapsed. Smells like oil and rust. There's writing scratched into the metal table. Only the strong get dawn. I'm starting to think dawn's not coming for any of us. I've got one shell left for the shotgun, one flare, 2 knives. The cleaver's chipped, but still solid. My hands are shaking less now. Guess that means I've accepted it. If anyone out there's still alive, listen to me. Don't trust voices. Don't follow lights. And if you see words painted on walls telling you to be clean, run the other way. The ones doing the cleaning aren't after dirt. They're after blood. The chanting's back. Faint, but closer. Sounds like they're dragging chains again. They're coming through the yard, sweeping this way. The firelight's bouncing off their masks, silver flashes in the dark. I'm going to keep moving. Can't stop. If I stop, they'll find me, and I'll end up hanging under that bridge like the others. This is Bob Ericson, the butcher. Still cutting through the dark, still breathing smoke, still alive. So far. This is Bob Ericson. I don't know if this will reach anyone, but I'm still breathing. The sky's black again. No stars, no moon, just smoke thick enough to choke the night. I think it's almost morning, but it doesn't feel like it. Feels like time itself gave up trying. The city's burned down to its bones. Every block I pass, I see shadows where walls used to be, ash drifting like snow. Somewhere out there, a bell's still ringing, slow and broken, one last heartbeat for this place. I'm in what's left of the industrial district. The heat's lower here, but the air's still sour. Smells like burnt oil and rot. The cleaners have been through. I can see their handiwork. Piles of bodies stacked neat along the sidewalks, like garbage day came early. They cover their victims in sheets marked with that same slogan, "Clean the city." Neat handwriting, too. You'd think they were signing art instead of slaughter. I've been running since the yard. My legs feel like lead. My throat's raw. Haven't eaten in a day, just rainwater caught in my hands. Every step sounds too loud in the silence. Every corner feels like a trap waiting to spring. The radio's dying, battery icons red, blinking like an eye that's too tired to close. Still, I can't stop talking. Talking keeps me human, keeps the madness at bay. Found a bus depot down here, half burnt, glass shattered, benches covered in soot. I slipped inside to rest. The ticket counters melted into a black blob, but there's a vending machine that somehow survived. The glass is cracked, but the candy bars inside are still there. I smashed it open and grabbed a few. They taste stale, but they taste like life. While I ate, I heard something outside, metal dragging across asphalt, slow and steady. I thought maybe it was one of the cleaners dragging a blade or chain. Then I saw the shadow. It moved wrong. Too low, too fast. I backed up, held my breath. A figure crawled into the depot, hands and knees, back bent, skin burned, eyes wide open but empty. It didn't look at me, just crawled past, mumbling something. I caught one word, safe. Then it collapsed. I didn't check if it was alive. Some things you don't touch. The chanting's getting closer again. I can hear it echoing off the concrete outside. Not the usual mob noise, this one's slow, ritualistic. They're singing now, low and deep. Something about washing away sin. Their torches make the street glow orange through the broken windows. I can see the silhouettes of their masks flicker against the light. They're carrying banners, too, symbols I don't recognize, circles inside triangles, dripping with red. They're not random killers anymore. This is religion now, and I'm the heretic they want to cleanse. I slipped out the back of the depot, cutting through alleys. Every shadow looks like it's breathing. Every window's got faces behind it, or maybe just reflections. Hard to tell anymore. My head's buzzing from smoke and lack of sleep. The butcher's apron's still tied around me. I keep meaning to ditch it, but I can't. It's the only thing that feels like armor. People used to trust me when I wore it. Now it just makes me a symbol they want dead. I guess that's what happens when you outlive your own purpose. The radio picked up chatter again. Weak, but clear. Free security regrouping south of the river, evacuation point under Bridge 9. That hit me hard. South's miles away, but it's something. A direction, a goal. I started heading that way. Along the way, I passed a grocery store. The doors were chained shut, but I could hear something inside. Voices, not chanting, whispering, real human whispers. I knocked once, no answer. Then a woman's voice said, "Are you clean?" That word again, clean. I froze. "Just hungry," I said. Silence. Then she said, "Prove it." I didn't know what she meant. The chains rattled. Then I heard a scream from inside, short, cut off. I didn't wait to find out what happened next. I kept moving. The streets near the river are worse. Smoke's thicker, flames still licking at buildings that won't collapse. I can see bodies along the fences, burned into shapes that barely look human. A dog wandered past me, ribs sticking out, eyes glowing red in the firelight. It didn't growl, just stared, then disappeared into the dark. Smart animal. Knows when to keep quiet. Every so often, I think I hear footsteps behind me. When I stop, they stop. When I move, they follow. Might be the wind, might not. Either way, I don't turn around. I've learned nothing good comes from looking back. There's a bridge ahead. Maybe the one from the broadcast. Half of it's collapsed into the river, but the other half's standing. There's light under it, flickering lanterns, shadows moving. I crouch low, creeping closer. I see people. Real ones. No masks. A handful of them, wearing free security gear, faces gaunt, eyes wild. They're guarding a makeshift barricade of trucks and sandbags. Beyond that, maybe 20 survivors huddled together. I want to run to them, but my gut says wait. I've trusted uniforms before. One of the soldiers steps forward, waving someone in. A young man stumbles out of the dark, hands up. He's shaking, mumbling something about his family. The soldier nods, gestures him closer. The moment he steps past the barricade, the soldier raises a pistol and shoots him in the head. No hesitation, just a pop and the body drops. The others don't even flinch. I feel my stomach drop. The soldier wipes his gun and says, "Not clean." The rest nod like that makes sense. They drag the body off and go back to guarding. I backed away slow. My throat's dry. My chest feels tight. There's no safe side left. No heroes. Everyone's just playing God now. I found a boat by the shore, half sunk in mud. I pulled it out, flipped it over. Still floats. I think about rowing out into the river, letting the current take me anywhere but here. But then I look back at the bridge, at the fires behind it, at the city that raised me, fed me, and then tried to eat me alive. I can't leave it yet. Not without knowing if the woman and the boy made it. The wind's howling now, loud enough to drown out the chanting. Ash falling like snow. My reflection in the water looks like a stranger. Eyes hollow, face streaked with grime. Hands steady though, always steady. I hear movement behind me again. Slow, measured. I don't even turn this time. I just speak into the mic, voice low. "If you're there, make it quick." Silence, then a whisper. My own voice. "Bob." The hair on my neck stands up. It's me. My voice perfectly echoed coming from behind. "Bob, it's over. You did good." I grip the cleaver tight. Step forward instead of back. "If you're me," I say, "finish it." No reply. Just the sound of feet moving closer through the mud. Then nothing. I swing blind. The blade hits something soft, then bone. A grunt. I don't look. I can't. The radio's almost dead now. The battery light's blinking slower. I can see dawn finally breaking through the smoke, a faint gray bleeding into the black. The city's still burning, still humming with the last notes of the purge. I'm bleeding. Don't know where from, but I can feel it. Doesn't matter. The pain means I'm still alive. If anyone finds this, don't come back here. There's nothing left worth saving. The city doesn't need a butcher anymore. It already carved itself clean. The fires are fading. The sky's brighter now. I can almost see blue through the haze. Feels wrong, like daylight doesn't belong here anymore. I'm walking toward the water. The current's strong. Maybe it'll take me somewhere that still remembers what mercy looks like. This is Bob Ericson, the butcher. I did what I had to. I kept cutting, even when the world bled out around me. If dawn really means something, maybe it means I can stop.